Welcome to Shootin' the Breeze. My name is Tanya Kappas, and I am a cozy mystery author who is excited to bring you a fun podcast where we answer reader questions and bring you amazing interviews from your favorite cozy mystery authors. Come, hang out, and let's just shoot the breeze. Hi, and welcome to Shootin' the Breeze. Today, I am so excited to welcome Carolyn L. Dean with us today. She is one of the prolific authors of the Twisty Tales and Cozy Crimes. Welcome, Carolyn.
Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate you having me here.
We love having you here. It's exciting, and we cannot wait to talk about Beachbody Bingo. Look how cute that is. That drink looks so good.
Doesn't it just make you want to go to the beach with your big hat and, lay out a little bit? And maybe the whole part about the body there isn't good, but
I love it. So let's learn a little bit about Carolyn. Carolyn has been writing and making stories in her head as early as she can remember. In third grade, wow, she came home, she sat her lunchbox down and told her mom that she wanted to be a writer. Luckily for Carolyn, her mom was super supportive. She's been a published author for a while now under different names and genres, but the thought of writing about a small coastal town in Oregon and about its love and mysteries and holidays and people has been with her for years. She's a bit scared to dump those ideas onto the written page, but hope that readers get to enjoy the people who inhabit her imagination. In real life, Carolyn is married with kids. She lives now in Texas, but she used to own a hobby farm outside of her favorite small town. She and her husband love to travel and can be found strolling down beaches, holding on to strings of high sailing dragon kites. Wow, that sounds like romantic in itself. Woo-wee. I love that. So what was your favorite town that you loved?
For travel or for writing about?
For writing about.
So my favorite is, I grew up actually in Oregon, so I grew up really close to the Oregon coast. And anybody who's been there knows it's a whole string of little towns that just go up this rambling 101 highway. And when I started, I fell in love with the beach, from childhood. So my favorite place, I still have family there in Lincoln City and such like that. I started kind of having all those great memories of family trips and even, trips with the husband to these little towns, the saltwater taffy place that has the machine that has been in use for 60 years or so. And, the place that sells driftwood sculptures. All that is part of the first series that I did, which is Ravenwood Cove. And that is where I put a lot of my memories and even some of my things that I have enjoyed through my life that maybe don't exist anymore, like a favorite car, a pet who's passed away. They kind of live in my imagination, and they live on in Ravenwood Cove. Even if it does have some of the really rainy Oregon weather, it doesn't have all people think beach and sunshine and, being able to take that kite out there. It doesn't always work at Ravenwood Cove.
Yeah, I love that. And then it's also said that you had a hobby farm. So tell people what a hobby farm is.
So we moved to Texas just a couple of years ago from Washington State, and we had several acres. It was a small farm with a big old barn on it. Mm-hmm. And we moved out there because we had kids. We wanted them to see about where their food comes from. We wound up getting chickens and ducks and turkeys, had a pasture where we had a neighbor needed a little bit extra room for their horse, and a big old orchard that my kids were out swinging from the trees and, just understanding about why bees are important and what it's like to squeeze your own cider. I inherited a probably 100-year-old cider press from my uncle.
Wow.
And it was fantastic to have 6 apple trees and have all the kids and bring the neighbors and friends and just have a cider party. I'm living in Texas. I love where I live, and Texas has been wonderful. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I miss my apple trees and my chickens. I miss my chickens too.
I love that. The other day I was talking with my sister, and we're very close. She lives near me, and I was talking about a new series, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you should do a hobby farm." And I'm like,
Oh, yes.
"No, I don't know anything about a hobby farm except the girls that my sister and I follow the same people on Instagram, and she has a
Mm.
hobby farm, and we're obsessed with it. But maybe you should venture into a hobby farm one day."
That is a possibility. I've got a new series that's coming out that is going to be a bookstore series, but it's set in an area where the main character's sister has a farm, and I'm using some of my own experiences and some of the funny things that happened when I had my little teeny farm.
Well, I
You
love
know,
that. And though we're not here to talk about the farm because we're obviously looking at a beach, let's talk
mm,
a little bit about the beach body bingo. And I'm going to read a little bit about what this book that you wrote specifically for free right now
mhm.
at the Twisty Tales and Cozy Crime Prolific Works, which we will put the link to that in the bottom of the show notes. When Flora headed across country to her 40-year college reunion, she never expected that somewhere near the bar or in the pool lurked a desperate killer. Tropical drinks and Florida beaching give way to police procedures and a friend who's the prime suspect. So, first of all, this tells me that our sleuth is around my age, in her 50s, which I am. And so this is a seasoned sleuth, as I call it. I'm not sure what you call it, but tell us a little bit about Flora, and also tell us a little bit about the series. It's Bright Water Cozy Bay. Or no, this is just the Cozy Bay mystery series.
It actually is a spin-off from Ravenwood Cove.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Ravenwood
didn't
Cove has how many books? There's a lot of
so
books.
right now there's 16.
Okay. So there's six, because I was thinking that this was
Mhm.
in the other one. So I'm sorry, I'm mistaken.
Oh no, that's fine. There's similar names on it.
Okay.
Florida actually is a character from the Ravenwood Cove, but she's the mother-in-law of the main sleuth Amanda Landon from Ravenwood Cove, and she always seemed to have, when I started writing her, if you ever either you've read a character, you've written a character, and the more you write, you're like, oh, this woman has secrets. This woman has a past. She's older because she's a grandmother and a mother-in-law. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have Flora seeing her daughter-in-law go through these things about finding out who the killer is or who the thief is or whatever. And she's a very bright lady who's out on a horse ranch. I thought, wouldn't it be fun for her, just completely out of her element, meeting up with some old friends and just being thrown right in the soup. So she definitely gets thrown right in the soup.
So she is gone to Florida for her 40th high school reunion in the dead body. So I love
Yep.
that. So as a spin-off character, this is her only book, correct?
So far, I've gotten some good feedback. People seem to enjoy hearing
That's
a little bit
that's
about Flora.
what I'm poking at. Is this going to be something we're going to see more of?
It's very possible. There's some people. My characters are, I guess it's a crazy writer brain, but sometimes I'll just wake up and they'll be waking me up saying, "Tell my story," or I want to say something. That my characters, either it means I'm a little bit off my rocker, or it means that I really should write a book and say what's going on with those characters in my head. So it's possible Flora's going to have more. It's possible there's going to be one of the brothers have his story be told. I'm
Oh,
not quite sure how it's going to go yet. It
as a
could be a little romance spinning off.
or oh, wow. Well, you do have in your bio that you also write in several other genres. Do you write in the romance genre as well?
I am just starting off now doing sweet romance. They're not published yet, but that's coming down the pike. I've done nonfiction, I've done steamier romance, and I have a thriller that I don't know if I have the time or where it would fit in my stuff, but I would love to get it out into the world because it's been lurking in the back of my mind for quite some time. So
Well,
maybe it just means I have a short attention span.
you have a big reader follow base. I know that they would love all that from you, and I love that you're
Oh,
writing
that's
a
sweet.
sweet romance. Because I'm sure a lot of our readers in our cozy mystery love that underlying romance, and you probably do just the perfect amount. So, yeah,
It
that's awesome.
sounds it sounds funny, but I've been I've been very blessed in my life to have, I actually was widowed for my first husband, happily married there, and happily married again for my second. So it's been lovely to write realistic couples who actually like each other, who, just get along, but have the normal sort of uh, conflicts or things that happen to a normal couple. And I would love to bring that, be able to start telling more stories about the beginnings of those sort of relationships. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Carolyn, for being here with us today. I'm
Thank
so,
you,
so
Tanya.
excited to have you here. Do you have anything you want to say to readers while you're here?
I just want to appreciate them because you have made so many dreams come true. Just reading my little books at first, I thought that I was doing things to entertain, and I've talked to a lot of other authors about, we've been through COVID. A lot of us have been through loss or change or whatever. And I've had several people write and say, your book helped get me through COVID or chemo or a loss or whatever. I want to thank you because you have made my life better by making me able to be an author to tell those stories that are in my head. And I appreciate it more than I can properly express.
Oh, and I know that you are touching their hearts. So
Well, they touch
acknowledge
mine.
that. That's amazing. That's amazing. And where can all your new readers find you?
Well, I have a real simple website name. It's carolyndeanbooks.com.
There
They
you
can find my stuff on there. I'm
Perfect.
also all on Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I love that. And we'll have all the links in the show notes below where we can just click and find you. And don't forget to grab Beachbody Bingo for free until September of this year. And then I'm sure, like the rest of us 60 authors in the prolific works, Twisty Crimes or Twisty Tales and Cozy Crimes, that we're going to be charging after that. So you
So
can
get it now.
So go get it now and sign up for Carolyn's newsletter while you're there. And how many times do you send out a newsletter? Tell us a little bit about your newsletter.
I know a lot of people are more chatty than me. I tend to be kind of an introvert. So I send out information when I have something free, when I have something new, or some really exciting news to tell. Very careful about not having too much in someone's inbox because I just want to share the happy stuff, the good stuff, the great stuff.
That's awesome. Well, Carolyn, thank you again for being here. Again,
Thank
guys,
you.
go grab Beachbody Bingo right now and sign up for Carolyn's newsletter. Thanks again, Carolyn, and thanks for shooting the breeze with me. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What a fun interview. I would love to thank today's guest for sharing with us their edition in the Twisty Tales and Cozy Crime Prolific Works giveaway, year-long giveaway. So be sure to grab this episode's book for free, and you can do that by going to the show notes and grabbing that link. And also, don't forget to be sure that you follow and stalk this week's Spotlight author. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week on Shooting the Breeze.